I think recovering from abuse is a long, lifelong journey. And I cry when anybody denies somebody the truth. The truth is that accepting that abuse can happen as if it happened today. I was 5 years old when my mom kicked me in the head, and I remember my uncle being there. And I wanted to know what it was like to have a mother come alongside me. And all these years later, through mental hospitals and treatment centers and therapy, I've learned that family can be the hardest ones to talk to. And when I talk about outreach and I talk about what it is to recover, today being day one of that journey, because it's the beginning of the week, I think about this Sunday as a time of reflection and thinking about what it would take me to do is to be an overcomer and forgive. And forgive those who hurt me. And forgive those who lied about me, who talked about me, who made fun of me. To grow up in my household, there was no laundry done. I didn't have the cleanest clothes. And I had relatives that were very well off. And I had a lot of cousins. Everyone had money. And when you came to my house, it was falling apart, it was dirty. And I lived in the filthiest conditions. And when I think of somebody who rescues somebody like me in my situation, I think about that person was thoughtful enough to help me buy groceries, get me into a car, and get me out of that situation, that I wouldn't have to return back to the filthy conditions. And I think about all the programs that are out there right now to escape poverty. And I look at all the money and power, prestige, and privileges that some of my family has today. And my brother and I got into a conversation today, and he made a kind of a comment that I was not abused. Yet, I don't have a mother relationship. I haven't grown up with sisters. I haven't had a sister conversation in a very long time. A normal family talks to their sisters and brothers and has a planned out lives and parties to go to and things like that's not happened to me. And I did not have the fondest memories at all. Most of my memories I have were years ago. The last 20 years with my family, it's been institutions, psych wards, hospitals, threats to commit suicide, and those are the kind of things that I've had to go through. Throwing, attempting to put people in the psych ward, and that is not fond memories. And I look at my friends and some of the people I grew up around, who have memories of going to events and going out to dinner and going out to their mother's birthday party or Mother's Day or Father's Day. But I did not have that kind of life. I did not grow up that way. I take a lot of stills and I do a lot of photo art because I can try to capture something beautiful. And I am broken by abuse and domestic violence. And I have been injured. And I've been gradually recovering from domestic violence. And I spent my whole life, since I was 5 years old, recovering from domestic violence. And I would tell you this, that it took a lot for me to open up about this. But I had to open up because I wanted to share a part of me that I know that maybe somebody else has been through something like it, or maybe they are sensitive to what's going on. surviving domestic violence doesn't mean you have to be a victim of, over and over again. What it is by breaking the silence, is stopping the abuse from happening again. Breaking the silence means reaching out and going to counseling and going to group. Speaking out means saying no more to this type of mistreatment. That you can't threaten me into things, you can't talk me into things, and you can't make me do things that I don't want to do against my will. And it's the same thing with sex. It's like the same thing with people who use sex as a way to barter or trade. All these things are going on right now, and a lot of it may have something to do with orphan programs. The mean comments my foster mother made about me, my foster dad shoving me around on the doorstep on April 19th, 2017, those things stopped because I opened up about it. And I said no more to it. I said no more to your abuse, Randy Stafura. I said no more to the way you talked to me, Gail Stafura. I said no more to the way you mistreated me, my cousin. I said no more to it by reaching out and speaking out on domestic violence and being shoved and pushed around and hit by my ex-husband, Michael Tartaglione. I said no more to it. I said no more to my brother demeaning me and making me feel like I'm dumb when I'm a smart, friendly, kind person. Some people don't appreciate what they have. My cousin, at 25 years old, he tried to have sex with me. And I was going on a blind date that night. And I was planning on meeting him in South Side of Pittsburgh. And my cousin was with me. And he basically pulled me over to the side and he asked me if I would have sex with him. And I've had experiences with people, but nothing quite like that. And I was a little taken back by it. Now, I admit I do not want to go on the blind date. But I was not expecting what happened that night when he pulled me over by the alley and wanted to have a long talk with me. And I was not expecting the way I got treated by my friends or family or my brother's friends and family. I wasn't expecting to be treated so wrong. And I speak out on it because breaking the silence and breaking the cycle of abuse means putting a stop to the way people treat people. And I sat there and watched it. I'm sitting there watching on Facebook, and I've been watching how people entertain these conversations amongst each other. And there's nothing that exciting about going on Facebook and watching people applaud people for ripping people off, especially their inheritance. I'm sitting there watching my cousin, who my uncle had saved up all his money. $4 million died, didn't spend his money, yet my cousin is spending it. Now, my uncle had not had children. He didn't have any children. He owed no money to any of these people, yet they're spending it. I look at what goes on every day and I see certain things, and by speaking out, I'm speaking out against it because I know that those are the kind of things that upset people more than anything, because it's not their money to spend. There's a lot of people who spend other people's money that have no business doing it. It's like I see the thousands of mothers who have child support issues with their husbands. But I honestly think the family is a broken home. A broken home is a broken home. And really, we must pray for the broken home. Because there's a lot of kids that are growing up without a dad, and they need a father. Girls need a daddy. And I was watching TEDx, and the TEDx was about a female attorney who represents men. And there's only one men's domestic violence center in the United States. And there are a lot of abused men out there. As many as abused women, there's just as many abused men out there that don't talk about it, don't reach out, don't speak out. And when you speak out against abuse, when you speak out, you say enough is enough. I have to say enough is enough, and I got to speak out because that's the right thing to do. Thank you for listening to my moment of peace, because hurting is not what I want. And I want forgiveness, and I want mercy, and I want a good relationship with these people. And I know that starts with forgiveness. And thank you, God, that we can forgive those who hurt us in the past. Good night. Thank you for listening to my blog.